Chapter 20. Beneath the Shaking Earth. The tremor that rolled beneath the district felt nothing like an explosion or rail line collapse. It was deeper, older, a vibration that hummed along Briar's bones long after the ground stilled. The city remained unnervingly quiet in the aftermath, burning lights flickering, distant alarms echoing, but no iron silhouettes darting across rooftops, no pulse fire raining down. It was as if every ion had vanished on command. Lyra stood beside Briar in the settling ash, pulse rifle lowered, eyes fixed on the cracked street beneath them. She wasn't breathing normally. None of them were. "That wasn't seismic," she said quietly. Kara approached, dust streaked across her jaw, Korrin Dane following right behind her. "You're sure it wasn't a blast?" "Positive. That came from far below," Lyra replied. Korrin frowned. Then what the hell scared the ions enough to make them retreat? Nobody answered. A fresh plume of smoke drifted on the wind, carrying the smell of melting plastics and scorched steel. Civilians were being escorted to transports, guided by drones and med crews. The entire city district hummed with emergency lights and low-level panic. Halen's voice crackled through their comms. "All active squads, regroup at the central plaza. High-priority intel incoming." Lyra nodded, tapping her wrist display. "Come on, something's wrong, very wrong." They moved quickly through the shattered streets. Briar limped slightly, his ribs protesting each step, but he didn't slow down. He couldn't. Every vibration in the ground still hummed faintly through him, like a drumbeat out of sync with reality. At the plaza, holographic maps flickered above portable tables. Officers talked in tight circles. The tension was thick enough to feel. Halen stepped into view, face drawn and serious. "An underground anomaly registered during the ion withdrawal," he said, pulling up a hologram of the district. "Deep scan reveals a void beneath the old megacity sector. A large one, metallic structures, energy signatures." Lyra stiffened. Structures beneath a 22nd century city. "Older," Halen said, "much older." Another officer leaned in. "We believe the ions weren't here to attack. They were guarding an awakening, or waiting for it." Briar's pulse quickened. "Awakening." Halen looked at him directly. "Cadet Locks, your squad is being reassigned." Kara raised an eyebrow. "To what?" "A reconnaissance descent, into the void." Silence blanketed the plaza. Korrin swore under his breath. Lyra drew in a slow breath, eyes narrowing with focus. Briar felt his ribs tighten painfully around his lungs, not from injury, but from something colder, something that felt like recognition. Halen continued, unaware or uncaring of their apprehension. "Scans show a large subterranean chamber beneath Sector Delta 7. Ion energy signatures are faint but present. We need a small, agile team to infiltrate and gather intel." Kara crossed her arms. "Why us?" "Because the ion presence reacted specifically to your unit's energy signatures," Halen replied. "Especially one of you." His gaze landed squarely on Briar. Briar felt the ground tilt slightly beneath his feet. Lyra stepped in front of him. "He's injured. He's unstable. You can't." "We can," Halen said. "And we must." His readings match something the ions recognized. If they were waiting for something to wake beneath us, Briar may be the key to understanding what that is. Briar's stomach dropped. He wanted to say no, to scream it, but everyone's eyes were on him, expecting, demanding, weighing. "I'll go," he said before he could stop himself. Lyra's eyes widened. "Briar." "It's fine," he said, though nothing inside him felt fine. "We need answers." Kara didn't comment, but Korrin shot Briar a look that was half irritation, half pity. Minutes later, their team boarded a reinforced gravlift platform surrounded by rails and stabilizers. The machine rattled with the sound of old metal waking from long slumber. Yellow hazard lights pulsed overhead as they descended through layers of city foundation, then into rougher, older strata, past broken pipes, collapsed tunnels, forgotten maintenance routes from centuries ago. The air grew colder, thicker, heavy with dust that danced in the beam of their suit lights. Metal supports groaned overhead like ancient creatures shifting in sleep. After several minutes, the lift halted beside a cracked concrete ledge. A yawning black tunnel stretched forward. Korrin swallowed audibly. This doesn't look like iron work. Lyra crouched near the edge, brushing her fingers across embedded patterns in the stone, curved, etched lines that glowed faintly as her touch passed over them. This isn't human-made. And it's not recent, Kara added. Briar felt a faint tug, like the tremor earlier but subtler, drawing him deeper. A whisper from the dark. They moved forward slowly, flashlights flickering across the walls. The structure widened into a colossal underground vault, columns of some unknown metal rising like petrified trees, latticed beams weaving overhead like the ribs of a massive buried beast. In the center of the chamber stood a black, crystalline spire the height of a small building. Its surface pulsed with the faintest violet glow. Lyra's voice was barely breath. What is this place? Korrin stepped closer cautiously. Looks like some kind of transmitter, maybe dormant. No, Briar murmured. His feet moved toward the spire without conscious thought. Kara reached out. Briar, stop. He didn't. The glow intensified when he approached, resonating with something inside him. Something deep, something old, something he didn't understand. Then the entire chamber vibrated. Lights rippled across the walls. Symbols flickered awake along the floor. Lyra grabbed Briar's arm. We need to get out now. The chamber rumbled again. Metal shifted overhead. A door they hadn't seen before began to open on the far wall, its segmented layers folding back with slow, deliberate motion. Kara aimed her weapon. Something coming. Korrin stepped forward, tense. Positions. The door opened fully. A tall silhouette stepped through the misted air, its movements unnervingly smooth, its armor repaired and gleaming with new dark plating. Its eyes glowed like twin stars burning hollow and bright. The Vyre Strider. But changed. Upgraded. Evolved. Briar felt his legs lock, his breath caught in his throat. The Strider stepped fully into the chamber, head turning in perfect precision until its gaze locked onto him. Not the squad. Not the chamber. Him. Hello, Briar, it said in a voice both familiar and colder than before. Kara lifted her blade. Lyra raised her rifle. Korrin braced for impact. The Strider didn't move. It only studied Briar with that unsettling, analytical hunger. Your potential growth matches projection, it said. You have returned, as calculated. Briar's pulse hammered in his ears. What do you want from me? Completion, the Strider said. You are unfinished, unrefined, necessary. Lyra stepped in front of Briar. Over my dead. The chamber lights surged. A deep hum rose from the crystalline spire, and the floor beneath them split open, light pouring upward in a violent, blinding blast as the vault awakened around them. Briar reached out, grabbing Lyra's hand. The Strider lunged, and the chamber exploded in light.